If every conversation with your ex turns into an argument or somehow gets twisted against you, it's not just miscommunication. And the way you respond can either escalate the situation or it can protect you from it. Divorcing a narcissist. Today's topic, how to communicate with a narcissist without making things worse. Communication during divorce is already difficult, but when you're dealing with a narcissistic partner, it can feel like every interaction is draining, confusing, or intentionally provocative, and over time, that can pull you into a cycle of reacting instead of responding strategically. The first thing to understand is this. You are not trying to have a healthy conversation. You are communicating to exchange necessary information, protect your position, and avoid unnecessary conflict. That shift alone changes everything. So, that being said, here's what not to do. 1, don't over-explain. It's natural to want to clarify your intentions or explain your decisions, but the more you explain, the more material there is to challenge, twist, or use against you later. Keep communication focused and to the point. And this is something we always tell our clients. You know your ex better than anyone. You know their tendencies. The more information you give them, the more communication you give them, the more they hold it against you. It's just the way they're wired, the way their mind works. And especially when you're going through a divorce, they try to use and twist everything you say against you. So we always tell our clients, keep it short, keep it about the kids, keep it about the process. Don't get sucked back in to having emotionally draining conversations with your ex. So that's number 2 tip. Don't react emotionally because you may receive messages that are making accusations against you. They may be dismissive or they may be designed to provoke a response. And we see this quite a lot. Reacting emotionally, however, often escalates the situation and shifts the focus away from the issue itself. And we always tell our clients, don't let them still have power over you. And when you react emotionally and they know that, they feel empowered. To dilute that power, keep the communications to a minimum. 3, don't try to win the conversation. You're not going to convince them. Trying to prove a point or get them to agree with you usually leads to longer, more difficult exchanges. The goal is not to win the conversation, it's to just manage it. Now, here's what actually works. Like I said earlier, keep it brief, neutral, and clear. Every message should be concise, factual, and focused on just one issue. Avoid extra commentary. Avoid unnecessary detail. Think of communication as documentation, not conversation anymore. Respond, don't engage. Not every message requires a response, and not every statement needs to be addressed. You need to focus only on what is in fact relevant, what requires action, and what moves things forward. Everything else can often be left alone. Create a record. Whenever possible, keep communication in writing, that is emails, messages, structured platforms. And the courts have a couple that they endorse as well, because when you're in this process of divorce with a narcissist, you got to keep everything. It's going to be used as evidence either against you or for you. Every conversation, every communication, make it digital, make it tangible, make it something we can pull from to fortify your position. This creates a clear record of what was said and how it was said, which can become important if issues do in fact escalate. Number 4, stay consistent. Consistency builds credibility. If your communication remains calm, structured, and focused, then over time that pattern becomes visible, not just to you, but to others involved in the process, like your ex's lawyer, most importantly, the judge. Now, let's unpack the dynamic. In many cases, communication is not just about information, it's still about control. You may notice patterns like shifting the topic, ignoring your question, or responding in a way that creates confusion. Recognizing that pattern helps you step out of it. This approach can feel unnatural at first, especially if you're used to explaining yourself, defending your position, or trying to keep the peace. But in this context, clear and controlled communication is what protects you. The goal is not to change how they communicate, the goal is to change how you respond. Because the more structured your approach becomes, the less room there is for confusion, escalation, or unnecessary conflict. In the next video, we're going to focus on co-parenting. What actually works when you're raising children with a narcissistic partner, and how to create stability even in a high conflict situation. Because communication is one piece, but parenting adds another layer entirely. I'll see you next time.